Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Thank you so very much for joining us live at this press event from VDL Bus Coach, a program which is fully dedicated to the new generation Citea. With me here this afternoon in this studio, I have Henk Koppens, I have Marcel Jacobs, I have Alex de Jong, and they will share all ins and outs about the new generation Citea. And throughout the entire program, you will be able to submit your questions or your remarks. Just have a look at the right-hand side of your screen. You see that chat possibility? Please use it, because we do have a chat editor available who might send your questions and remarks to me in the studio. And then we can all together make sure that all your questions will get an answer. All right, no time to waste here. Let's get started. And there we are. Henk Koppens, good to see you. Chief Executive Officer from VDL Bus Coach, of course, and Senior Vice President from the VDL Group. And of course, Marcel Jacobs, Commercial Director from VDL Bus Coach. Good to see you,
Thank you.
Too. Well, this is quite a situation. I know, Henk, that you regret that you were not able to meet in person the press, and that you felt it was important to give a kind of update, didn't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. First of all, we extremely regret that we have to do it this way, although we are happy that we can do it, because we love to meet people in person.
Yeah.
And most of the people in this event know that we are famous on our hospitality that we have with nice Belgian beer and Belgian chocolates, but we will reserve them for the event that we can see each other again live.
Yes, that moment will come, that is
Absolutely.
for sure. Now tell me, Henk, how are you doing?
To be honest, I'm very happy and blessed that the health consequences of this pandemic were limited to myself, to my family, to my friends, and to my colleagues in VDL. And I really hope also that our friends in this call, that their health remained well. So I can only express my big wish: stay healthy.
Yeah, wonderful. Now let's dive into the VDL Group and of course your bus division. How are you doing?
Yeah, as we already expressed in our quarterly report, the VDL Group was hit hard by this pandemic, both on the revenue and the profit side. As a VDL Group, we had a decrease in revenue of 19%, but partly thanks to governmental support programs, we could keep our profit in a positive way, so that's great. So that's for us also a very important proof point that diversification, which is our strategy, works out. And yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and then the bus division.
Yeah, a little bit a different story, of course. I can remember, was it February, March, yeah, when it became clear that all the containment actions in the several countries, what the impact would be, both on society but also on our business, and that was tough, I can tell you. I still remember one day that Marcel showed me a scheme of one of our Italian customers just before the pandemic, that he had a well-filled usage of his fleet, and within 48 hours the whole screen went black. Yeah. And I've never experienced that before, and we really regretted also the situation that our customers were in. But yeah, that's part of how things were, and we had to deal with it. And if we look back to 2020, yeah, our revenue fell with 49%. So that is unbelievable. And yeah, and we had a plan. And we were on track with making the bus division what we wanted to be. But then this plan falls apart in 1,000 pieces. Yeah, and then you have to set this puzzle again with your team. And yeah, we had a kind of three-step approach there on this reset, focus, and accelerate. And that's how we put the puzzle together again.
Yeah, but what did that exactly mean, a three-step approach? Yeah,
first, yeah, it's like getting an extreme hit on your head. You had to recover. But then you sit with your team, and then first priority is damage control. Damage control for the short and the midterm, and damage control also together with our customers. So yeah, as all entrepreneurs, we had to review our order board, we had to review our investments. And what was for us very important is we made a major effort to re-employ our factory people in other factories in the VDL group. Because yeah, that is important for the VDL group to stay loyal to their employees.
Yeah, but I can imagine that this reset approach was mostly affected for your coach activities more than public transport.
Absolutely, yeah, because the tourist industry stopped, and for that the impact on the coach industry was bigger than on public transport. Public transport we will discuss today. But yeah, for coach, it was terrible. We regretted a lot. Also, we had a lot of contacts with our customers, and it was very sad to see that great companies with great ambitions that they had to stop. And yeah, we are preparing ourselves when the market will rebound, and our customers can be sure that we will be there when the first opportunities are there, when we can start working together again.
Yeah, then you will be ready, yes.
Absolutely.
But then back to that three-step approach, Henk. So first was reset, then focus.
Yeah, yeah. After the damage control, of course, you have to put the puzzle together again. Mm-hmm. And the first thing you have to do is sit back and say, okay, let's look to our ambitions, let's look to our strategy, and what to do with it. And I'm extremely happy and proud that strongly supported by our board, we could stick to our ambitions there. Yeah. First of all, we have a strong ambition to be relevant and to have a sustainable role in this whole transition towards sustainable mobility solution in a complete new ecosystem. Secondly, it was for us important that we stick to our VDL DNA, yeah, of strength through cooperation. So staying very near to our customers and our strategic partners there. And the third one is we have a clear view on manufacturing. Yeah, manufacturing has a future in Europe, and Europe, Western Europe, has no future with manufacturing. So this confirmation of our strategy helped us a lot to accelerate also in the key points of the reset.
Yes, but what does that then exactly mean? That accelerating in these 4 focus areas.
Yeah. Yeah, it is after that you have redefined the focus and you got a confirmation of your strategy. Yeah, the key word was future-proof. Yeah, we had to take our measures. Also, some of them were not nice to do, but we were only focused on this future-proof part. Yeah, and Marcel will explain later on what we did in marketing and sales. Today, we will discuss of course, the new generation platform, yeah, where the keyword is future-proof. But also on the manufacturing part, we had to take the right measures there. And we had our plans and we accelerated them, that our factories became multi-product. So that in the same location, we can produce coach and public transport. And we also broadened our, what we call our make portfolio. So we accelerated our ambitions also on special vehicle. And we are extremely proud that in cooperation with the company Van Wijnen, we found a very nice new area where one of our factories will be active in. Yeah, and today I'm proud that we can announce that we will restart the project of building a complete new factory, a CO2 neutral factory in the city of Roeselare in Belgium. So that's very special in these hard times, and it clearly shows also the commitment of our board towards this business.
Yeah, you will continue there. Great. Now let's talk about the trends you do see within the public transport. Are there trends to be seen which you should follow?
Yeah, there were certain trends, and if something happens like what happened the last 12 months, you have to reassess these trends. And what was surprising, although it is not a common story in all markets, but the trends on a growing need for sustainable mobility even became stronger. And what you see, and I think you experience the same, that if something is taken away from you, then the more you appreciate what you had.
Sure, yeah, that's the way it works.
And that holds also for mobility, because people were limited in the possibility to meet each other. And then you see what it does also to the social impact. So this need to meet each other and to be mobile is even stronger due to the COVID. And if you look to the trends in mobility, as many people in the industry, we use the DECAS model. The DECAS is an abbreviation of design, which is for us very important. The electrification, which has become the new standard. Connected, so all our buses can talk. So now we have to start to listen, is what we say internally. And then the last two letters were the autonomous and the service part there. And this model, we regrouped all the things and all the trends and all the experience we had into this new platform.
Yes, because that is then, of course, key, that you can underline those trends, but how do you use it in developing a new platform like the new Generation Citea?
Yeah, what we did is using these DECAS parameters and then regrouping all the learnings and all the technologies into that one framework where future-proof is key. And Alex will explain later how we did it. But given the fact that we could start this project from scratch with only zero emission in mind, it was also not easy, but much more convenient to put all these things into this one new platform.
Yeah. Now let's talk a bit more about sustainability activities within VDL, even beyond public transport, because it's amazingly important as well.
Absolutely, because what we see in this sustainable mobility solution move, that public transport is a front runner there. And but we also see in other areas that it is coming up, and there it is one of the characteristics of what we present today, that it is a complete modular design, and in fact what we constantly do is integrating building blocks there. Mm-hmm. But these building blocks can also be used in other applications. So, for instance, together with within a strategic partnership with DAF, also from this great environment here from the Brainport, we could develop an electrical truck for city distribution. And another area where we use the building blocks is together with our colleagues from VDL Translift, is to come up with an electric garbage collection truck. Yeah. So many areas within this umbrella of mobility solutions, we can use these building blocks.
Yeah, great. So many activities beyond the public transport.
Absolutely.
It's based on that same pillar of sustainability. Then how, Henk, would you see the future of the coach industry when it comes to sustainability solutions?
Yeah, first of all, we are looking forward again that this market picks up again. Yeah, and that's what I said earlier on future proof. We are in this market to stay. Mm-hmm. And there is no doubt about that. And for sure, also in the coach industry, alternative drivelines will come up. Yeah, and using these building blocks that I referred to earlier, we will come up also with sustainable solutions in the coach industry. They are on our roadmaps, and the coming years we will show that also in this part of mobility, we stick to our rule that we really want to come up with zero emission solutions.
Yeah. Okay, having said all this about your ideas about the future of the coach industry, let's go back to the launch in a way. Well, not the true launch, that will be for later in the program. But let's go back to the new generation of the Citea. You did prepare a video of the making of.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to look for now. Is there anything we should know before having an eye on this video, would you say?
Yeah, it is a video of the making of, where we want to give a kind of sneak insight in how we did it. And yesterday I looked to the video when it was ready, and I'm extremely happy and proud. But what's most important is it is full of people.
Yeah. Because
we are not here to sell technology. We are here to create conditions that people can have a better life. So pay special attention to all the people and how they express that they are proud.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Then I suggest, dear ladies, gentlemen, viewers, that we are going to have an eye on the video of the making of the new Generation Citea. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is just the beginning. We've got more in store for you this afternoon. So please stay tuned. And did you find the chat possibility at the right-hand side of your screen? Because take this opportunity to ask your questions, to put your remarks, because they will be forwarded to me here in the studio. Marcel Jacobs, Commercial Director of VDL Bus Coach. Great to have you here as well, of course. And I do wonder, being the Commercial Director, I mean, the impact from Corona on the market for public transport and your zero emission goals, it must have been enormous.
Yeah, as Henk already mentioned, it has been enormous, mainly in the coach market. If you look at the public transport market, it has a little bit of different dynamic with long contracts, and there is a need to drive this public transport buses, even with less passengers. If you look at the volume, however, of buses that are being brought to the market, 2020 was actually a higher year than the 5-year average. And we expect actually 21 and 22 to also be at quite a high level. You see a big differentiation between countries, where some countries are at the peak of their tender activities, other countries are postponing slightly some tenders, but overall the picture looks quite okay. More importantly, the trend towards zero emission is accelerating, and that's very important, of course, for VDL, as we are very well positioned in that market. If you look at the VDL numbers at the moment, 2021 is also a much better year in terms of deliveries than 2020.
Okay, and did you have to make a great number of adjustments in your marketing and sales organization in answer maybe to this corona pandemic, or did you continue the way you did?
Yeah, it's obvious that also we had to look at that. Henk already mentioned it in the Reset Focus Accelerate program. Marketing and sales, but also the service organizations were also part of this reset. So we made some substantial changes, and yes, of course, I think there is no company escaping from that in this market. No. Not only in our industry, but also in the industries outside the bus and coach market.
But how did you do it?
Yeah, when you do that, I think it's important that we take a very differentiated approach, an individual approach. There is not a one-size-fits-all for these kind of measures. So we defined basically 4 basic principles, and those we didn't touch. And we did all the exercises around those 4 basic principles. And I would like to explain them to you because I think they're very relevant. The first basic principle is that we stick to all the commitments, short-term and long-term, we have with our customers. That is not to be touched. The second one is that we stay active in all markets. We may review the market model, but we stay active in all markets. We do not withdraw any market. The third principle is that we want to continue to focus on our public transport and accelerating our growth in public transport activities throughout Europe. And of course, in combination with this launch of the new Generation Citea platform. And then the fourth one is the coach market. The coach market at the moment is, you can call it a disaster, but the market will recover. So we need to be in all cases ready for this recovery, whenever it will take place. So these 4 principles we had in mind with making the changes that we made in our organization.
Okay, well, that is very clear, those 4 principles, but how did they impact the organization?
They impacted the organization in some organizations to a lesser extent, in other organizations a bit more. The outcome of the total project is that we remain active in 13 markets with our own setup, and in the other markets we are working with distributors and partners. And to be concrete, in 3 markets we had really a change of market model, whereby we went from an own setup in Czech Republic and Switzerland, for example, to a distributor model, where we found excellent partners to represent us in those markets. But if you look at a top 3 market like the UK, it's generally in the top 3 of bus and coach markets in Europe, we did the other way around. So we went from a distributor model to an own setup. And with that last change, in fact, we are now represented in the top 10 markets in Europe, which account for roughly 80 to 90% of the total volume of buses and coaches being acquired every year. So yes, we did a lot of changes. Yes, we also looked very critically at our costs, but we continue to invest in our marketing and sales, but also our service organizations, because we believe we need to be close to our customers in helping them also in this transition towards zero-emission public transport.
Now, today we discussed the new Citea platform. Huh? Tell us a bit more on how does this, what does this mean, in fact, for the overall marketing and sales strategy within VDL Bus and Coach?
Yeah, it means a lot. It's very clearly. If you look at the marketing and sales, in the past 8 years, we have been building up experience in zero emission, zero emission public transport. When we started, there was basically nothing. There was no market. There was hardly any knowledge in the market. There was hardly any knowledge from our side. We had to build that up. So we invested, in fact, 8 years in building up this organization, both on the marketing and sales side, but also especially the service side, to be able to support our customers on implementation management, because these are projects that we implement in the market. So this was a huge transformation we made. And now it's time with the new Generation Citea platform to capitalize on those investments. And moreover, it gives a unique motivation, of course, to the team to be able to launch such a fantastic platform at this point in time. Huh?
Yeah, I can imagine. But your plans were to launch this new Generation Citea at Busworld.
Yeah.
Cancelled, of course, cancelled.
Yeah, it was a big blow, actually.
Now tell us.
Yeah, because this was really a point where we were all working towards to launch this platform in Busworld. It's the greatest event to launch such a bus, to show it to the world. It was also for us a bit the moment that we would we'd step over Corona and start again.
Yeah.
It would be over. But yeah, it's a big event. It needs to be organized 6 to 9 months in advance. That means also the decision for go or no go had to be taken quite early. At that time, there was too much uncertainty. We, together with other manufacturers and also Busworld, came to the conclusion that the risks are too high to have such an event. So, yeah, with pain in the heart, it was cancelled, and it kept us with left over with a question: what do we do?
Yes, what do you do?
Yeah, what do we do exactly? So, this platform, this new Citea platform, really deserves a proper launch. So. We are going to organize our own launch event. We will do it a little bit later, so we're planning to have this in November. Because we really think that it should be possible then to have a physical event. I think everybody wants that. Hank also mentioned it. Let's look each other in the eyes again. Let's
show your hospitality.
Show the hospitality.
You long for it, huh?
Exactly. Yeah. But also really to touch and feel the product.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, it's obvious. That's what we are aiming at, and more information will follow around that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that is good for now. Now, Marcel, we know that VDL Bus Coach, you are front runner in Europe when it comes to the field of electric buses. Yeah. And that's, of course, why you were claiming this to the objective, aiming for zero, if I'm well informed, aiming for zero claim. But is this going to change now with this new generation Citea when they are introduced to the market?
Yes, it's going to change. I mean, the new generation Citea platform answers to the challenges of public transport of tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But when we started with public transport, zero-emission public transport, this was a new thing. Yeah. It was an ambition. We aimed for zero. We had an ambition to go to zero-emission public transport. So that fit very well to the introduction of the new Citea, or the Citea Electric 8 years ago. Now we are a step further. Now zero emission has become the standard in the livable city, and that requires a new thinking around technology, around implementation of electric buses. The new generation Citea platform, in fact, is designed in such a way that we no longer have to make compromises also to implement zero emission in cities and beyond cities even. So basically we decided to tilt our claim from aiming for zero, which was the ambition, to zero compromise. And the zero in zero compromise, of course, still refers to zero emission, but in combination with zero compromise really refers to the fact that we no longer have to do concessions in reaching those zero emission goals together with all the stakeholders. And that's a major step forward. So we have decided to launch this new generation Citea platform under the Zero Compromise campaign.
Wow, zero compromise. Then you are making a statement. Hank, what does this mean into the vision or the ambitions of VDL Bus Coach? Zero compromise.
Yeah, the words are that clear that it doesn't leave any doubts that we don't want to make compromises. And I hope during this event that our colleagues will see that it relates, of course, to the new platform, but it is broader than that. First of all, the zero compromise, after this three-step approach, it was zero compromise towards our ambitions. And we could stick to that, and we could refocus then our plans there. Marcel explained, no compromise, zero compromise, to our strong belief that you have to be near to customers to work together with them towards solutions. Because a big difference with the old traditional buses is that these are complex projects that we do in clear partnership with our customers. No compromise to the VDL DNA on strength through cooperation. So we even made the relationship with our strategic partners stronger to integrate all the fantastic innovations that they had on the roadmap. Yeah, and what I explained earlier, no, zero compromise to our industrial strategy. It could have been very easy to move production somewhere else, and it is not VDL. VDL believes in his manufacturing strategy and sticks to that. So zero compromise to that. But yeah, most important today is with developing this new platform from scratch with zero emission in mind, we were not forced to compromise on all the needs And that is what Alex will explain later on, how we put all these things together in this new platform. So this zero compromise is not just a marketing slogan, but it is really has become part of our way of working and our way of thinking.
Great, Henk. Okay, yes, and Alex de Jong, he will be here soon, and then we will dive in some more technical details, of course, about this new Generation Citea. But, and I think that you can imagine that the president and CEO from the VDL Group, Willem van der Leegte, he was very happy to be able to contribute to this live press event. So what I do suggest, dear viewers, is look at this strong message from Willem van der Leegte.
Hello to all of you. We are truly honored to have you as our guest today. Although VDL Group has been hit hard by the consequences of the COVID-19 crisis, we are standing strong and are looking at full confidence to the future. We are here to build, and we are here to accelerate. As you know, our activities of VDL Group are very diverse. Our main focus areas can be divided in the following so-called 5 worlds of VDL: mobility, science, technology and health, energy and sustainability, infratech and foodtech. From our world of mobility today, we zoom in on our VDL Bus Coach division vehicles, about a 1/5 share of our total turnover. Due to restrictions, the travel industry has, as you know, come to a virtual standstill, and the demand for coaches is therefore almost nil. Unfortunately, many of our customers are struggling, and our industry is suffering. My message to you today: better days will come. Together, we stand as one. The upside of the crisis is that governments, as a contracting authority or as a direct customer, care even more about climate goals. Extra focus on making mobility more sustainable by using new zero-emission public transport vehicles is top of mind. As a frontrunner on electric mobility, VDL is, as we believe, very well positioned. VDL Bus Coach is constantly moving forward. Even in difficult times, our view is focused on the long term, and we continue to invest in innovation. Innovation, in every sense, is crucial for our added value of the world tomorrow. Apart from the roughly 140 million euro which we have invested in material fixed assets, during the crisis year 2020, we have also invested 160 million euros in R&D last year. Instead of slowing down, we have during the crisis been accelerating our innovation plans. You will be our first witnesses. We are going to introduce later this year our new generation VDL Citea, and we are extremely excited to be able to present to you our new electric city bus. An excellent combination of intelligent engineering and specialized quality craftsmanship of our employees. This is VDL's strength to cooperation in its full length. Our new VDL Citea is developed from a new point of view. Not an electric converted traditional vehicle, but one in which we started to rethink about the conditions of electric driving. We have created a vehicle that breathes electrification and smart mobility. The advantages of electric driving have been the starting point of our journey, which has led to a solution without any compromise in terms of sustainability, technology, range, passenger comfort, capacity, ergonomics, flexibility, safety, and of course, total cost of ownership of our customers. The complete product range of the new VDL Citea buses has been developed with the idea of a better world tomorrow. Why? Because we believe that VDL has to contribute even more than today to quality of life. Our solutions have to be essential to improve that standard, a life with less air and sound pollution. The production processes of the new generation VDL Citea is designed in accordance with our vision. The high-quality manufacturing industry has a future in Europe, and Europe has a future thanks to the high-quality manufacturing industry. Almost all parts of the bus, except for the batteries, are delivered from Western Europe. Logistical movements that cause unnecessary pollutions are therefore excluded. Next to this, after assembly, the only remaining transport that remains will be that to the customer, who then starts using the bus with zero emission during its complete lifetime. The optimization of the local supply chain contributes significantly to this low environmental impact. We feel responsible to be highly involved in society. To us, it is self-evident to contribute to the sustainable development of our living and working environment. We are happy to see that our customers are with greater concern looking for sustainable e-mobility. Focusing on low CO2 emissions, including the usage of local supply chains, is contributing to the sustainability goals of our customers. We are proud to announce today that we recently agreed upon a partnership with UNICEF. Together with the United Nations Children's Rights Organization, we stand for a supply chain for our buses that uses only materials free of child labor. And this should be mandatory for the whole industry, with no exceptions. And I hope you will fully agree with me. The new generation VDL Citea will be built in our reliable network of production facilities in the Netherlands and Belgium. Close to our customers, with sustainable production methods and with our loyal and high-skilled employees that use the most modern techniques to produce the e-buses of today and tomorrow. These competences are reflected in our new generation VDL Citea buses. We are here to build and we are here to accelerate. I would like to thank you for your attention. I hope to meet you all in person at the presentation of our new sustainable electric city bus later this year. And I would like to say to all of you, take good care. Thank you.
Take good care. That's exactly what we are going to do. Thank you so very much for your contribution, Willem van der Leegte. And here with me, good afternoon. Good to see you, Alex de Jong, Business Manager, Public Transport from VDL Bus Coach. With you, I'm going to be able to dive into the more technical details of the new platform, the new Generation Citea. But tell me, to start, what would you consider as the most important innovations of this new platform?
There are quite a lot. We have developed over the last years a lot of new innovations within the company, within the group. Very excited, of course, because to announce it now also. In fact, there are quite some topics which are really important, which is one of them, of course, is starting with the batteries in the floor. We really developed now a vehicle range, a vehicle portfolio, which is based on batteries on the floor. Next to this, we have the sidewalls. The sidewalls are built of composite materials to reduce the weight of the vehicle. In general, the energy consumption and energy management is a very important topic for the development. Connected to this is the climate system. We have developed a very interesting climate system which is very much dedicated to the e-mobility solutions. And last but not least is the driver environment, because the drivers they are working day and night in the vehicles, so they should have a very good working place. And that's our topic.
Wow. Okay. So those are the ones top of mind when it comes to the true innovations.
We have more, but this is
of course. But now tell us, give us some more insights, because while building such a new platform, how do you come to the right definition of the requirements?
The right definition. Now we have started already our ideas when we in fact introduced the first electric Citea bus, which was in 2015. At that moment we already realized, hey, the future will be different.
Yes.
And we have to rethink the way we develop the buses. And that's not based on a diesel bus, which is in fact converted to electric, but this should be based on a real electric portfolio, electric platform. And that's how we started, by thinking about how to do this next. And then we thought, okay, but what are now the main disadvantages fact of the electric buses of today? Which is in fact for the operators, they have the downside is the range. the way you can drive all day. The other downside is that you have less passengers because of the weight of the vehicles. So we have a challenge there. And the TCO, the total cost of operation, is higher, in the beginning at least, for the e-mobility vehicles. Those things we have to take away. So we have to take away the main disadvantages in the new portfolio. And that was the basis where we started, okay, how can we do this in a different way? And we started to have interviews with the public transport authorities all over Europe. Next to that, also the operators, which of course are running the operations. And third, a lot of stakeholders within Europe, which are really the industry stakeholders, universities, a lot of other stakeholders, which could help us in defining the e-mobility solutions for the future. So we really started from a blank sheet of paper, from scratch.
From scratch, one could say.
Yeah, really from scratch, to start with zero and to build something new, which is really based on e-mobility solutions.
Yeah. So at one way, you had a very wide market research, but at the other hand, you are very experienced when it comes to the electric buses. You gained so much experience. I assume you used that one.
That's fully correct. I mean, we started in 2015 with the first vehicle starting operations in Münster in Germany. Yeah, and since then, we are gaining a lot of experience. And a couple of months ago, we reached the 100 million kilometer mileage already within the fleet of VDL electric buses in Europe. Now, this is a lot of information. And Henk already mentioned in the interview, all the vehicles are connected, so we have a lot of data. And based on all those data, so fact-based, we could define also the future of the bus, because it gave a lot of information about the operations, the differences between them, and how to build a portfolio which is suitable for all those different applications.
Yeah.
So history and experience of the 100 million kilometers, it was a great impact.
That has a great impact, but also a major duty, because then you have to try to translate the outcome of all this outside-in research into the new platform.
Yes, correct.
So how do you do that?
How do we do it? We were thinking in a different way also. It's not just to put on paper, let's say, the requirements of the operators or the PTAs, the authorities, but we said, okay, how can we translate now all the requirements into vehicle properties? So how should the vehicle and an operation look like, and how should it really run? And based on those vehicle properties, we have defined requirements, and that was the input for our engineering and development team. In combination with a lot of the innovations, which were actively in the background, where we're developing items like the sidewalls, the composite sidewalls, or like the batteries in the floor, which we could use in our development for the new portfolio.
Yeah, that's the way it worked.
Yeah, but it was different, because normally let's evaluate a vehicle type, but now we really started from zero, because we said we want to get rid of all the disadvantages of an electric bus from today, but we want to have the future in a different way.
When we saw the first video, the making of, then Henk said, well, just watch the people, because there are so many people involved there, and it must have been also so much fun, I can imagine.
That's
a challenge, of course, at one hand, but also this is why people are happy to work at a VDL Bus & Coach, I can imagine.
That's correct. I also say to my team and all the people in VDL Bus & Coach, e-mobility is such a nice and interesting new development, innovation for the future, and everybody's looking at it because we're all looking for a sustainable world. Yeah. And since the beginning, nobody is complaining about work. Nobody is complaining about the fact that they have to spend more hours, because they all want to contribute to the new platform.
You want to make it happen.
Yes, that is possible. And so excitement in the company was great and still is.
Yeah. Now, we only saw the video, the making of.
Correct.
Maybe it's now about time to see different things.
Yes.
What would you say? What are we going to look at now?
I think you will be seeing a very excited vehicle portfolio. It's new. It's the first time we show now the complete vehicle as a whole. We have seen a lot in our campaigns over the last year, but not the complete product. And I think you will see the complete product now.
Okay.
So let's have a look.
Let's have a look, ladies and gentlemen. The launch of the new Citea.
Innovation is in our DNA, and we are constantly working on new technologies when it comes to public transport. More innovative, more sustainable, and always future-proof. Because we believe that innovative technology can make the difference for people, cities, society, and the environment. We've developed a new public transport platform from scratch, one that's up to any challenge. where energy transition is key and zero emission the standard, without any compromise. For this platform, we relied on years of experience and expertise. Based on over 100 million electric kilometers, this helped us to create a brand new and innovative bus concept, different in every way. It's completely designed around an electric driveline, where design meets technology, and compromise is not an option. This resulted in an optimal layout, weight distribution, and passenger capacity, but also in a concept that is ready for future solutions, such as connectivity and the next step to autonomous driving. We set high standards for our impact on the environment. That's why this concept helps to reduce our CO2 footprint. And it allows us to integrate new thinking and technologies from scratch, setting the standard for sustainable production, bringing together innovation, expertise, knowledge, and industrial thinking. The new concept brings together form and function. The result? A vehicle that is modern and aerodynamic, realizing maximum passenger comfort and a safer journey than ever before. Perfect for the livable cities of tomorrow. The right number of passengers, an efficient vehicle layout, a lightweight construction, and a perfect weight distribution all play their part in realizing the optimal total cost of ownership. How did we achieve this? Based on our vision, experience, and expertise, we were able to develop a total bus concept that goes beyond zero, and to create a future-proof public transport platform, all designed without sacrificing the essential things that matter. This is the new Generation Citea, zero compromise.
So, Alex, this is what zero compromise looks like.
Correct. This is zero compromise. Yeah. I think it shows a lot. I think you see the vehicle now, you see the portfolio, you see it's not only a 12-meter bus, but there's also a complete range of products. I hope you like it as a whole, as a design. We have a short session today. To be honest, to explain everything to you, we need 2 or 3 hours with all the things you will see in the vehicle.
There will be plenty of time later on as well, of course, to discuss this. Now it must have been a really interesting journey for you and your whole development team. And we were earlier talking with Marcel and Henk about the being future-proof. But please give us some more words on this, because what does it exactly mean in what we just saw? In what sense is this future-proof?
Future-proof is, I mean, we started with the development and we said, okay, this platform must be ready for the future, really for the future. So we have implemented a lot of innovations already. Yeah, we talked about composite sidewalls, we talked about the batteries, we mentioned them already in the floor, but there are a lot of more things. Also, developments like ADAS systems, so safety systems, supporting systems for the driver. Partly they are already available now in the new portfolio, but they will be also developments towards full autonomous vehicles. So the portfolio is now ready that next steps can be integrated in the portfolio already. The same counts, for example, for connected services, connectivity solutions, but also, for example, looking at the future where maybe also a fuel cell bus, an H2 bus will come into production, it's ready to do that. So we don't have to develop again the new platform for new developments which will come maybe in 3 or 4 or 5 years. It's already ready for that.
Yeah.
So the basis is there. It's very modern today because everything is already there, what is available today on the market, but we can also make the next steps in the portfolio.
Yeah. The portfolio, what does that exactly mean?
Portfolio means the fact that we are not introducing a 12-meter low-floor city bus.
Just one?
Not just one, no. It's also that we're introducing the articulated bus, low-floor, and then also already the low-entry versions, which we have in 3 length variants, the 12-meter, 12.2, the 13.5, and the 14.9. Yeah. Whereby, just to mention, is the 13.5 is a 2-axle low-entry vehicle, which has a high capacity, is very special in the market, I think.
Which means that the portfolio at this moment contains 5 vehicles.
Correct.
Yes.
So our aim was mainly to look at the complete market and not only to focus on the city bus, but also to the regional areas to operate in the different applications.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. Of course, talking about a new Citea, then you talk about customers, you talk about drivers, you talk about passengers, and they will gain. There will be advantages for them. What will happen for them?
Oh, you mentioned it correctly, because there are a lot of group stakeholders involved.
Yes.
Yeah? It's about the customers, the operators, which will drive the vehicles. Yeah, of course, they, what I already mentioned in the beginning, they have now a product which is, in fact, similar to a diesel when it comes to operations. The range is not a limitation anymore. We can drive all day with the vehicle, with the different battery sizes we have. There's no limitation in the operations. The same counts when you go to the passenger quantities, because normally you lose quite a lot of passengers due to the fact that the vehicle is more heavy together with the batteries. In a new portfolio, due to the weight reductions we have and due to the complete innovations, the innovation with the batteries on the floor, but also the sidewalls and the lightweight components, we have organized and realized a product which can have the same or even more passengers than a diesel bus can today.
Right.
So it's really a platform which is ready for that. And due to that, we also have then the TCO, the total cost of operation, reduced by cost. One of the main drivers also in the whole portfolio is energy consumption. And energy consumption is about money, about cost per kilometer, but it's also about the range in the vehicle. If you limit or reduce, let's say, the energy consumption, you can work with a smaller battery to do the same job. And that is all connected in the vehicle. So a lot of things are together in the development, which in the end comes to, again, the zero compromise solution.
Yeah. Okay. And did you already describe for the passenger?
No. The passenger point of view, I mean, yeah, you like to travel in a nice way. I think everybody, it's also the public transport world for the future. We like to get more passengers in public transport. Now, how do you attract passengers to public transport? Is to have a nice area, a nice environment, a nice vehicle which is okay for driving. It's comfortable. You have a very nice ambience. The interior design, you have seen some of already on the renderings we have in the pictures. That we have a very nice interior design, which is very much connected to, for example, railway station, public areas, where you have very modern designs, which you see also in the vehicle. So your journey from home via public transport to where you want to go, you have all the same kind of environment.
Like so the touch and feel, it feels
touch and feel, yes,
comfortable.
Exactly. Comfortable, the light, the indirect lightings we have, the color lighting we can do, the touch and feel you mentioned, but also the use of materials.
Yeah.
And
attractive.
Attractive, exactly. So we really like to have more people in public transport, which is at the moment, with the corona circumstances, a bit difficult. We all understand, but future-wise, it will be
better days will come.
Again.
That is for sure.
Exactly.
And then the driver?
Yeah, the driver.
He or she will be happy?
I think so. I mean, we have very much said, okay, the driver, she or he is driving 8 hours a day in the bus. It's her work. Every day she has to be there 8 hours in the cabin. So the driver's cabin is very important. So we have put a lot of attention in the driver's environment, which means the dashboard, the man-machine interface with the digital display, everything is digital. The steering column, which you have to adjust, so you have really a very nice position, which is all defined together with universities to come to a situation that the driver feels well and also will reduce illness in the future. And the side, for example, the cameras instead of the normal mirrors. So also safety counts there for the driver. Yeah. And next to that, the driver has a very quiet and smooth drive.
Enormous advantages.
A lot of things for the driver also.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then finally, the citizen.
Yeah, the citizens, I think everybody knows in meanwhile that when you have an electric operation in your cities, you have a very quiet city. Yeah. You have, of course, the air pollution is less, but it's very clear because we are talking about zero emissions, but also noise will be reduced and also vibrations. So people working or living along the bus lines, they have a better life now because the reduction of noise and vibrations.
Again, a great contribution to the livable city.
A livable city. And again, also Henk mentioned it earlier in the message, it's also about people.
Yeah.
It's about the people and the living and about future sustainability.
Yeah. Great.
Yes, I think so. But I hope everybody likes it, and we are happy to see.
We are going to ask. No,
Great.
We are going to give you the possibility because I think it's high time to see how you are reacting on what you do here from the three gentlemen here, the three gentlemen in the studio. So I think we will jump to the questions from the press. That's what we'll do.
Great.
Yes, and some questions were already delivered here on paper to me, so I'm going to address all those. But there's also one, Henk, I watch to you immediately, because somebody asks, Henk, describe the new Citea in 3 words. 3.
3 words.
Yes. Okay. You may think you just. I
No,
give you some.
but maybe what I hope is that the colleagues in the event get from this event the 3 words that they want to use. If I put 3 words from a more personal, emotional point of view, I hope you allow me to be proud and to be very thankful to all the people who contributed. But if I look more from an application business point of view, the 3 words, it's Citea. So it is a new platform, but we build it on the experience of the Citea, which is there already in the market. Yeah, and guess what? The other 2 words are, it's zero compromise.
Citea, zero compromise. Okay, you got it? Those are the 3 words from Henk. Okay, Alex, 12-meter bus, somebody is stating, with 45 seats cannot really be a full low-floor model, can it? Or is it really possible in practice?
We heard the question before. Yes, we have a lot of seats in the vehicle, and that's also why we started the development, and we started from scratch, already explained. So when we started with development, we said, okay, we start with the layout of the vehicle. So we position the seats in the best possible way. So to have an optimal seat layout in the interior. Then we have to look at the passenger flow, so the standees and the passenger flow, looking at the connection with the developments like the batteries in the floor. And from there, we started to build the vehicle. So we didn't start with the box, let's say, the design of the vehicle from the external part of view, and then look how can we put in the seats. No, we started with the seat layout and then made the vehicle out of it. So the length of the vehicle, the position of the axles, the doors, etc., that's all in combination with the seat layout. And then you come to a solution that when you have to compare with the existing Citea, then we have 4 seats additionally because of the rear back of the vehicle where we don't have the engine tower anymore, which is quite logical. So that's 4 seats more than the Citea. But we also have 1 additional row of seats in the interior. So we have added 8 seats to what's in fact the standard. And that's a lot. So, and we managed to get us into the wheelbase with 12.2 meters, completely homologated, including a wheelchair position as it should be there.
Of course, as that should be there, yes. So yes, it is possible.
It's possible.
And you have explained now how you did manage. Yeah. Okay, you were talking in this answer already again about the batteries, and you mentioned it when I first said what is really making this very specific. You started talking about the batteries in the floor. I have a question here. What are the advantages of batteries in the floor, and how can expensive damage to batteries be prevented? Oh, yes.
Yes,
damage.
Advantages first. Advantages, due to the fact that we have batteries in the floor, we lower the center of gravity of the vehicle. So the way of driving the vehicle, the comfort level, the safety, that's a lot better. But it also had value and is an advantage towards the weight, because the batteries on the floor, we can now reduce the weight of the sidewalls, which we did with the composite sidewalls. In total, we can reduce the weight of the vehicle, and because the weight of the vehicle is reduced, we have more passengers. So that's a very good advantage, because then we have more passengers than we had in the past. Next to that, also the vehicle is lower, because most of the batteries are on the floor. We can have optional packages we can have also with some batteries on the roof, but there are not so many. So we can also reduce the weight of the construction of the body, but also we can reduce the height of the vehicle. And we have all seen in the first situation, the first electric vehicles in the cities, that they are quite high. Now with these vehicles, we are almost on the same level as a diesel bus, so we can drive everywhere. Yeah? So that's also a very good advantage.
Okay, but now, prevent damage.
Damages. Now, of course, we have packed the batteries in the floor, in the wheelbase, completely in the floor, but not completely to the outside of the vehicle.
I think we saw it in the video, yes, a bit, how you constructed this, huh?
Correct, correct. So we still have some buffer there, and we have a construction on the side to overcome that in case of an accident, that directly the batteries are concerned. That's not the case. Next to that also, we have the flaps, or let's say the skirt plates we call them, on the side, which we can easily change in case of a small accident. But there's not an issue with the big accidents. They are still ready for the side impact on the batteries. And you have to do that. Otherwise, of course, we have major issues in the field. That will never happen.
And that will not happen?
No.
Camera mirrors. Will they be standard?
No, not standard. We expect that more and more customers will buy them, will choose for it. So we still have the old normal mirrors also available, but of course a strong advice is to get for the cameras because they have a better visibility. It's a lot better also in the operation for the driver, but it also adds, for example, for higher speeds. If you look for the vehicles which go also into intercity operation, it will contribute in the design of the vehicle in reducing the aerodynamics. Now, and aerodynamics are also having an impact on energy consumption, mainly when you go to higher speed operations. So there's also a reason why we have put a lot of effort in the aerodynamics of the vehicle, and all things count, also the mirrors.
All right. Marcel, I have a question for you. When will we see the first Citeas on the street?
That's a very obvious question, actually.
Yes.
It's crazy that we didn't answer that question yet.
Yes, we could have talked
our,
about this immediately. Yeah.
Now, the first vehicles will be delivered in the beginning of 2022. Will be the low floor version, and in the course of 22, we will have all models available for delivery. So it will follow very quickly in 22 that we will have the vehicles there. Yeah.
Which is so soon already. I mean,
it goes very fast now.
It goes fast now. Yes, yes, yes. Great. Okay, Alex, one for you again. Will the one-piece sidewall, oh yes, that was also one of the major points you mentioned. Will the one-piece sidewall and other lightweight constructions ensure that VDL Bus & Coach once again has the lightest bus on the market?
That's a very good question. I mean, we are known in the market as the lightweight vehicle manufacturer. But with electric buses, this has changed a little bit because the aim, in fact, of our advantages, our goals was to have a vehicle platform which has the best operations, which is best in TCO in cost of operations, but also has a very long range and a lot of passengers inside. Now, so weight is of course very much connected to amount of passengers. So yes, you should have a low weight. But when you look at the energy consumption, then, for example, we added some topics, some developments, but also, for example, the side windows, they're all double glaze standard because of energy consumption. So the main driver was energy consumption, and at the moment that you can reduce your energy by having maybe some add-ons in weight, you can have a lower cost per operation, but you also can have a longer range. So it is, in fact, the combination of things. So our goal and aim was not to be the lightest vehicle, but our aim was to be the best energy consumption in combination with weight, the amount of passengers, and range. Yeah. But still, we have
outcome
still 15% less weight compared to the existing Citea electric. Yeah. So it's a very light vehicle, but with a focus also on energy consumption.
Yeah. Great. Now, the start of the production, we were talking about once we do see them on the street, you start producing earlier, of course, but how does this work within VDL Bus & Coach? How does it start up, the production?
The start of the production, that will start up end of this year. We will start the operations beginning next year, and that will be done, as Marcel already explained, vehicle per vehicle type. So we are really looking forward to that situation. You have seen also in the film that the prototypes are running. So step by step, we will speed up the production to the different models and the different applications.
Yeah, okay. Marcel, another question for you. Demo vehicles, will they be available for different countries?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then which ones?
Yeah, absolutely. We will make the demo vehicles available, the different type of models, depending on the type that is required in different operation. We'll make them available for customers, also, of course, to the press that is listening together with us today, mainly. Yeah. Yes, they will be available. And if there are interest in demo vehicles or press tests, then please contact our communications department and we will coordinate that.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. So a clear answer, yes. Yes?
Yes.
Alex?
Maybe I can add something to that. I think on the demo vehicles, it's important to say that it's not only the different vehicle types which we will have, but also they were also dedicated to the different markets, because we are selling throughout Europe. Yeah. And of course, there are differences in specifications in the Nordics, for example, or the middle of Europe or the south. So they will also be adapted. And in addition, and that's not mentioned yet, I think, is that we also will have a class 1, but also a class 2. Application, and that's for the regional buses, the low-entry vehicles. Very interesting to also have class 2 vehicles in production from the start onwards of production. So it's really the complete portfolio.
You have the complete portfolio then. Okay, Great. Other question for you, Alex. The low entry version has the same body as a low floor. True?
True. Basically, yeah.
But then, how did you manage to create this without negative effects? Because that's quite something.
That's a good question, yeah. The issue is that we are known, I think, in the market also for modularization. So we always build our vehicles based on modules. So we have a very modular approach, which means that there's the front module, rear module, mid section, and the body types to get them as much as possible in a similar way, where we can use the building blocks, let's say, to build the different applications. The low floor, low entry vehicle are in fact the same for the body. So the body height is the same for all the vehicles. The main difference is starting from the rear axle. So from the front and the middle section are the same. Rear axle, it goes to a higher floor area, but only the lower part, let's say, of the vehicle is different. The upper part, so from, let's say, from floor level to the top, is the same again for a low floor and a low entry bus. So it's really based on modularization, which is connected to the different applications.
Yeah. And that then avoids the negative effects, like is stated in the question.
Yeah, negative effects, it's more easy also for the production. It's a lot easier also for our after-sales organization and also for the customers, of course, because the customers will have the different vehicle types, but they will get the same materials, the same components for maintenance and repair, all over the range of vehicle types.
Yeah. Another question. Oh, we could have talked about this also by ourselves. Thank you so very much for asking all these clever questions. How many kilometers can the new Citea cover?
Oh, that's a very interesting one, because very simple. The range is now, we are starting our vehicle types with the 12 meter, but the smallest battery for us will be 306 kilowatt hours. But we have 3 steps in batteries, whereby the biggest battery will have 490 kilowatt hours. Now, I already mentioned that our energy consumption is very low, and in average, and also based on all the different applications in worst case scenarios, let's say in wintertime, in summertime, in heavy traffic, yes or no, we are an average 25% energy reduction compared to the existing Citea. So that's quite a lot. That in combination with the bigger batteries brings us to the situation that we can reach 250 kilometers with the bigger batteries in a worst case scenario. Now, I think everybody knows that we are always looking at the worst case scenarios, because a vehicle should drive every day of the year the operation. You can mention, okay, maybe we can drive 500 or 600 kilometers a day. Yes, we can on one charge, but not all year after 10 years. Yeah. So worst case, at least we will do 250 kilometers, which is already a huge step. And best days, it will be even the double or more. But we are really looking at the worst case scenarios, because the operator should drive every day, and not just the nice days of the year.
No, it's a ongoing travel, of course, yes. Okay, thank you so much. Henk, I got a question for you about the preparations you are making with VDL Bus and Coaching, of course, for autonomous driving. We heard that this is future-proof in a way that new innovations will be able to be applied into this new platform. But what preparations are you making within VDL Bus and Coach?
What we did is that we took the future developments into consideration when we developed the electrical and the software platform, which is completely new also in this bus, and other things. So the roadmap, as we foresee it, can be implemented easily in the platform as it is now. But we know it will be a step-by-step approach. So what we did also as a VDL group is to find a real application where we could learn. Because we are very strong believers in accelerated learning in real-life applications. So no fancy laboratory situations. And there I would like to mention the millions of hours of experience in real-life applications we have with the automated guided vehicles, which is another part of the VDL group, but we are working together that we can use that experience and the platform that we are future-proof, there I am again, also towards the different stages of autonomous driving.
Okay. And then, can we expect that you are going to produce hydrogen-powered buses in the near future? We haven't...
As I explained earlier, the consistency of our strategy was a major outcome of the 3-step approach. And And you cannot imagine that hydrogen is not part of your strategy. So the clear answer is yes. And let's also mention that we are already for years putting a lot of R&D effort in hydrogen, and we are very active because we have already buses on the road based on hydrogen, and we are working together in all kind of consortia on the hydrogen part. So as soon as the market is ready, we are ready, and yes, the hydrogen is part of the platform that we are presenting today, but it should be market-driven and not technology-driven. So as soon as the demand is there, we are ready to apply it.
You are ready, yes, market-driven, yeah. This one, yeah, great. Henk again, this new public transport platform, is this the answer to competition?
No, it's the answer towards our customers. And that was the main driver, what we did. So it is all trying to understand what are the future demands for our customers. And yes, there is competition, and that's great. And they do fantastic things, and we like it even as long as it is based on playing in the same field. So the level playing field is for us very important there. But based on our own development, based on the supply chain, as Willem mentioned, maybe interesting to mention here, 80% of the weight of these new vehicles comes from partners within a range of 1,250 kilometers of where we built the buses. Yeah. So as Willem explained, why spend so much pollution bringing it together? Because we organized it that it is together. And is it future-proof? Yeah, maybe also the announcement of the new factory there, we can include there all the new technologies there. So yes, we believe this is an answer to competition, but we are more driven by customers and what they want than by competition, to be honest.
It's a great answer. It's the answer to your customers and not that much competition, but that comes one after the other. Yeah, clear answer. Ladies, gentlemen, if there are more questions, because I have just a couple of questions more left, but take the opportunity, take the possibility now to ask questions, because I have the three with me still now. Marcel, yes, and what now? What can we expect from now?
Yeah, so what's next?
What's next?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I really hope that we're going to be seeing each other more often, because that's something that after 1.5 years, I personally am quite fed up with, that we have to do this in a fantastic setting. But I would really like to discuss with the press, with customers, with colleagues more about the introduction of this new platform. The next big step, of course, for us is that we hold a launch event in November, where we are going to show the buses physically to the people. And then after that, of course, the first vehicles on the road, and also the first demonstrators to be available, as we already mentioned. So these are the major steps forward from now on.
Yeah, great. It's very clear. Well, and I have one final question for you, Henk. Your expectations for the future, how would you describe them? Yeah,
I can explain my private expectations towards the future, but I can imagine this more has to do with the subject of today. And maybe summarize, there are three major drivers on what we expect from the future. First and foremost is the need of people to be mobile, but they want to do that in a sustainable way, without the pollution, etc., etc. A second thing is that there are a lot of disruptive technologies together with our partners, and there will be even more that enable us also to come up with fantastic solutions for this mobility need, because it all starts there. And the third element where I see things will change in the future is that companies even more cooperate in different ways, in consortia. So we see also, which is a nice wording on the ecosystem. So it is the need for mobility, it is the technology that enables it, and doing that together with our partners, and that is this strength through cooperation, which is part of our DNA. And this all has to contribute, as Willem phrased it very nicely, in this umbrella that we call livable city. Yeah, it is fantastic to see. And I really hope that also an outcome of this pandemic is that we really take care more about this livability, about the quality of life in cities. Yeah, and then of course it's extremely exciting for us that we can make a contribution to that. So that is what I expect from the future. And I cannot predict the future, but there is a kind of wisdom that the only future you can predict is the one you create yourself. Yeah. So maybe today it's the first step towards a future that we can predict.
Wonderful. Great. Well, thank you so very much.
Can I add one thing?
Yes, of course.
This zero, I was thinking about during this event about this zero compromise. And if you allow me, I want to add one element on the zero compromise. And that is the zero compromise of the loyalty of our people. Mm-hmm. And I want to mention it here because this is a fantastic journey. And the last 1.5 years was very tough. And if I saw the commitment of my colleagues within the VDL group, within VDL Bus Coach, I hope that I can use this opportunity because I know they will be watching this streaming also. I really want to thank them for that. And yes, we will have some challenges ahead of us, but I'm so convinced with the persistence and the commitments of our people that we will make it. So sorry to misuse this event, but I hope you allow me that I say thank you for what you did up till now, and all of us are extremely proud on that. Thank you.
Wonderful. That's a wonderful finalization of this event. Thank you so very much. Henk, Alex, Marcel, it was great having you. This was the way we could manage and could do it and launch the new Generation Citea. And as said, we will meet in November for sure. Things will turn better. And yes, at VDL Bus Coach, they are ready for the future. I thank you very, very much for attending this afternoon. And at some other time, keep up the good work and bye-bye.